Now in last lecture, we have derived the basic equation of the quantum mechanics, that is a wave equation, that is time dependent and time independent Schrodinger equation. Now we make an application of the steady state form of the Schrodinger equation, that is the time independent Schrodinger equation. The problem is a particle of mass m is trapped in a one-dimensional box of length L. The particle is trapped here. This is the particle of mass m. It is fully trapped in this region within x equal to 0 to x equal to L, and outside 0 and outside L the potential is infinite, so the probability of finding the particle here in region 3 and region 2 is 0, because particle cannot come here, it is fully trapped here, and inside this box the potential is 0. For simplicity of calculation, we consider that the potential is 0 and the particle is here. Now our task is to find the energy of this particle. Now here the potential has no time dependence, so we shall apply the time independent Schrodinger equation. So here the particle is trapped particle of the mass m is trapped in a one-dimensional box of length capital. Now the potential V is equal to 0. The potential Vx, that is equal to 0 when your x is greater or equal to 0 and less or equal to L, that is in this region potential is 0 and that is infinity when x is less than 0 and x is greater than L. X is less than 0 and x is greater than L, the potential is infinity, and as there is no probability of finding the particle here because the wall is infinitely high, so the particle is trapped here, so particle cannot reach here or here, so probability of finding the particle here is in region 2 and 3 is 0, so wave functions are 0. Now with this potential, if we write the time independent Schrodinger equation and solve it, then what we get? Now the Schrodinger equation, for no need to solve Schrodinger equation region 2 and 3 because the wave function you know for certain it is 0, particle is not here, therefore we solve the Schrodinger equation only in region number 1. So the Schrodinger equation, the time independent Schrodinger equation in say region 1, it is written as minus h cross square y twice m d2 phi dx2 plus e phi equal to 0. Okay, here potential is 0. Now we can rewrite this equation as d2 phi dx2, or better we say write here as a psi, because we have denoted here by psi, so write it psi. You can write anything phi or psi, but as we have denoted here by psi, so we write it psi wave function. plus twice m e by h cross square psi equal to 0. Here psi is a function of space x. Now if this quantity is given certain name, when we write it d2 psi dx2 plus say k square psi equal to 0, where this quantity that k square is equal to, we denote it by this one, twice m e by h cross. Okay, so this is the equation. So harmonic oscillator type equation, we know the solution of this equation. Now when we write, as it is a second order differential equation, so we know that it has two independent solutions. So one will be, is well known to you, one is sin kx, another is cos kx. Now for a linear differential equation, we know that it has two independent solutions, so their linear combination is also a solution. Now so one is sin kx, another is cos kx. So the most general solution of this equation, the general solution of the equation, we write psi x is equal to a sin kx plus b cos kx. Because both sin and cos satisfy this equation, so it has two independent solutions, one is sin, another is cos. So the linear combination is also solution. And here a and b are two unknown constants which have to be determined from the boundary condition at x equal to 0 and at x equal to L, because x equal to 0 and x equal to L are the boundary of this box or of this system. Now therefore here a and b are two unknown constants. Here a and b are two unknown constants which have to be determined from boundary conditions. And there are two boundaries, one at x equal to 0, one is at x equal to L, and we have to apply the boundary condition. Now before going to apply the boundary condition, we discuss the boundary conditions of Schrodinger equation. Now if the potential, here we find that the potential has infinite discontinuities. This is the x equal to 0 point, this is x equal to L, and at these 2 points the potential has infinite discontinuity. According to the boundary conditions of Schrodinger equation, if the potential has infinite discontinuity at any point, here it is infinite discontinuity, potential is infinite, here infinite discontinuity. So if the potential has infinite discontinuity, then at that point only the wave function will be continuous. That the wave function in this region, suppose psi 1, this is region number 1, and this is region number 2, then this is psi 2. Then in that case, psi 1 at x equal to L should be equal to psi 2 at x equal to L. Wave function will be continuous. Similarly, here also the same is true, wave function is continuous. But the derivative of this wave function, del psi 1, or write this psi 1 is a function of one variable, at x x equal to L dx, that is not is equal to d psi 2 L dx. It is at x, you have to evaluate at x equal to L. So if the potential has an infinite discontinuity, then only the wave function will be continuous at that point. Its derivatives will not be continuous. So remember this point, that if the potential has infinite discontinuity, then only the wave function will be continuous. Its derivative will not be continuous. But if the potential has finite discontinuity, suppose this type of potential well, it has a certain height, suppose the V0. So particle, there is a probability the particle may come here. So in that case, psi will not be equal to 0, psi 2. So in that case, you get the wave function will be continuous at this point, and as well as its derivative will also be continuous. So for finite discontinuities, there are two boundary conditions. One, the wave function will be continuous, as well as its derivative will also be continuous. Now, here we have infinite discontinuities at x equal to L and x equal to 0. Therefore, we apply this condition, only the wave function will be continuous at the boundary. Now, therefore, we apply that boundary condition first at x is equal to 0. This is our wave function. Now, we apply the boundary condition. Applying the boundary condition at x is equal to 0. Psi of 0, that is equal to a sine 0, x is equal to 0, plus b cos 0. Psi of 0 at the point x equal to 0, it is 0 because the wave function there will be 0, because it will match with the wave function at of region 3, where this psi 3 is equal to 0. So psi of 0 is equal to 0 at x equal to 0. This point sin 0 0, cos 0 1, so you get b. So you get b is equal to 0. This constant, value of this constant comes out to be 0 from the boundary condition. So the wave function now becomes it takes this form, psi of x is equal to a sin kx. Therefore, the wave function which satisfies the boundary condition at x equal to 0 is this one. Now we apply the boundary condition again at another point, x is equal to L. At point x is equal to L. It is another boundary. There also the wave function will be continuous. Now the wave function has this form. So psi at x is equal to L. It is also 0 because at x equal to L, the wave function and region number 1 and region number 2 should match each other. At region number 2, wave function is 0. So psi L will also be 0. And that is equal to a sin kl at x equal to L. This side is 0, that is you get a sin kl. Now a, this unknown constant, it is not equal to 0, it cannot be equal to 0, otherwise initially the psi will become 0, which will not satisfy the boundary condition at x equal to 0. Therefore, as a cannot be equal to 0, a is not equal to 0. So, what will be make it 0? that sin KL must be equal to 0. Then if A is non-zero, then sin KL must be equal to 0. So sin theta is equal to 0. That is when theta is equal to 0, it is 0. Theta is equal to pi, it is 0. Now, therefore, KL is equal to n pi, where n is an integer. Take all these values 0, 1, 2. But 0, finally we see that 0 will be excluded. N is running from 1, 2, 3, etc. Okay. Because if we take n equal to 0, then k will always, L is non-zero, length. So k will always be equal to 0, so that the wave function everywhere will be 0. That's why this n equal to 0 is not acceptable. It is excluded. But here, according to mathematics, the n is running from all the integers, say 0, 1, 2, etc. But here n is excluded. Here n equal to 0 is excluded, as for n equal to 0, k will be equal to 0, and that is the wave function psi is 0 everywhere. So if the wave function is 0 everywhere, inside the box in between 0 to L, x is equal to 0 to L, then the probability of finding the particle is 0 always, which is not possible. That's why the number n equal to 0 is excluded. So here n will run from say 1 to 3, that is the quantum number n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. So here thus n equal to 1, 2, 3, all integers values excluded 0, and n is the quantum number. Is n equal to 1 the first level, n equal to 2 second level, third level in this way. Now we get say k is equal to n pi, k is equal to, so we get the value of k is equal to n pi by L. Therefore, if we substitute this value of k is equal to n pi by L in the wave function, then we get the form of the wave function. So the wave function becomes substitute the value of k. Therefore, the wave function becomes psi equal to a sin n pi kx. So k is n pi by L into x. This is your wave function psi of x. So the wave function psi x we get of the particle moving in the one-dimensional box of length L is this the wave function which satisfies all the boundary conditions. You put x is equal to 0, then psi will be equal to 0. Now put x is equal to L, so L will cancel, you get n pi, 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, again psi will be equal to 0. So this is the proper wave function which satisfies boundary conditions at x equal to 0 and x equal to L. Now we get say k equal to n pi by l, as k is equal to n pi by l. And we have a relation between the wave number k square and the energy of the particle. Now that would form the relation, that is k square is equal to twice m e by h cross square. We have substituted this quantity by k square. Now we obtain the value of k, substitute it here. K square is equal to, you get n square pi square by l square is equal to twice m e by h cross square. So then energy of the particle, as n is here, so it is we write it as En. Okay. So here E, accordingly n equal to 1, you get the energy E1, n equal to 2, energy E2. That is here E, that is you get n square pi square h cross square by twice m l square. So energy, when you put n equal to 1, you get the energy first level, n equal to 2, you get the energy of the second level. So here that energy eigenvalue, it is called the energy eigen. This only the Schrodinger equation satisfies with these energy values, not all energy values. Like say classical particles. Classical particles can take energy value continuously. But here, for a quantum mechanical particle, the energies are discrete, discontinuous. Only when n equal to 1, you get certain value, n equal to 2, certain value. In between n equal to 1, n equal to 2, there is no allowed energy levels. Particle cannot take that energy. So, energy level is discrete. Now, therefore, here in the, now look at this equation, the energy is equal to n square pi square equals square twice ml square. Here pi constant, h constant, m, l, everything is constant. Therefore, the energy of the particle in a box, that is En, is proportional to n square. What is n? N is a number 1, 2, 3, 4. So the energy is proportional to the square of a natural number. Okay. Now when you get n equal to 1, that your energy E1 will be equal to pi square h cross square by twice m l square. N equal to 2, you get E2. Next higher energy level is 4 pi square h cross square by twice m l square. You get n equal to 3, you get the energy level E3 is equal to, you get 9 pi square h cross square by twice m l square. That is, the E2 level is 4 times that of E1. E3 is 9 times of that A1. That means the energy levels are not equispaced, not equally spaced. Now, if we draw the energy level diagram, suppose this is your n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. So they will not be equispaced. So you get this one, then here, this is E1. E2, 3. Now, if we draw the, suppose a wave function, so the energy levels are not equispaced. We draw the wave function. We draw the wave function, first wave function here, then n equal to 2 here. This is the axis, x-axis. N equal to 3 here, all their x-axis. And psi x is plotted along this direction. This is suppose a psi 1 x. What is psi n? The wave function, that is equal to a sine n pi by l x. When we plot psi 1, this is some constant into pi by l x. Okay, n equal to 1. So psi 1 here, your function is a sine pi x by l. Now this is x equal to 0 and suppose x is equal to l. This is x is equal to 0. So our particle is confined here. So we plot the wave function in this region of the wave function will be plotted in this region because the particle is confined in this region. Now for the first level, psi 1, when x is equal to 0, wave function is 0, sine 0, 0. When x is equal to L, you get sine pi, this is also 0. And in between, when L equal to any value, either say L by 2 or L by 3, L by 4, it is non-zero. So the wave function at x equal to 0, it is 0, and then at x is equal to L, it is 0. And this point, when L by 2, we get sine pi by 2. X is equal to L by 2, L will get sine pi by 2, maximum value. Sine has a maximum value at 90 degree. So the ground state wave function, this is the minimum energy state wave function, which is called the ground state wave function. So this is the ground state. The minimum energy state of a quantum mechanical system is called the ground state. The ground state has the minimum energy. So the ground state wave function is this one. It never cuts this x-axis in this region. So it has two nodes at the two boundaries, at x equal to L and at x equal to 0 and at x equal to L. Now for psi 2, at this level, you get a sine n pi by Lx, you get 2 pi x by L. Again at x equal to 0, it is 0, okay. At x is equal to L, sine 2 pi again 0. And when x is equal to L by 2, now see here L by 2, x is equal to L by 2. Sine pi, again it will be 0. So this wave function in between x equal to 0 and x equal to L, it is always 0 at x equal to 0 and x equal to L because it is bounded. But instead of that, additional, it goes through a 0 at x is equal to L by 2. So here this wave function twice pi x by L. If we plot this wave function, this is your L by 2, therefore you get this is the wave function for L equal. That is, it has a node inside the box. So what will be the wavelength of that wave associated with that particle? This is the wavelength, the complete wave. Now for psi 3, here you get two nodes in that wave. That is A sine 3 pi by L x. Then what we observe that when for higher states there are nodes within the box in the wave function, but for the ground state there is no node in the wave function. So that means what is the here the for n equal to the wavelength is equal to L. Here the wavelength is equal to this one. This is the wavelength for n equal to 3. This is the lambda 3. This is lambda 2. And here, what is this value? It is half of the wavelength. Therefore, this is lambda by 2. That means if we complete it, then you get the total wavelength. So the ground state wave function has the maximum possible wavelength. Always the ground state wave function of any quantum mechanical system has the maximum possible wavelength. Because wavelength is larger, that means according to de Broglie's hypothesis, P will be, momentum will be minimum. Because the ground state has the minimum energy E, which means the momentum is also minimum, so the wave function will be maximum. So the ground state of any quantum mechanical system, so the ground state wave function has no node and has the maximum possible wavelength. Because the ground state energy is minimum, so accordingly momentum will also be minimum, and as the momentum is minimum, that means the wavelength will be maximum according to de Broglie's hypothesis. Now the ground state energy, which is the minimum energy, which is non-zero, that is E1, this is the ground state energy, that is pi square h cross square by twice m L square, which is non-zero. But for a classical particle, the ground state energy is 0. Now this energy is minimum here. If the energy is minimum, then what will be its momentum? Because E1 is a minimum energy, therefore we can write it P minimum square by twice m, P square by twice m is the energy, which is equal to your this one, pi square h cross square by twice m L square. So what will be the minimum value of the momentum? You get pi h cross by L. Square is equal to this pi h cross by L. H cross means h by 2 pi. you get pi h by twice pi L. That is the P minimum, that is approximately of the order of it is h by L. Now the particle is confined in a box of length L. Then what is the uncertainty? The uncertainty in measurement of the minimum is this one, of this order of maximum uncertainty, h by L. Now what is the maximum uncertainty in the measurement of the position? Because the particle is in between 0 to L. We know for certain it is confined here, but we don't know where it is. Therefore the maximum uncertainty in the position in position measurement is delta x, that is of the order of this length of the box, and uncertainty in momentum ground state, that is we write it as delta p minimum, that is of the order of h by L. So from Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, we see whether it follows the uncertainty principle or not. Then the product of delta x and delta p minimum, that is of the order of h. L will cancel, you get. So it satisfies the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And that's why the minimum energy of any quantum mechanical system is non-zero. You cannot measure the position and momentum with unlimited accuracy. There are some error will be there. So if your energy becomes zero or momentum becomes zero, then there is no uncertainty in the measurement of the momentum. So it is not possible, then there will be maximum uncertainty, infinite uncertainty in the position measurement. So that's why this is called the 0 point energy of a quantum mechanical system. Even if when it is in the ground state, the energy of any quantum mechanical system cannot be made zero. So this is called the 0 point energy, and this arises due to the uncertainty. If we want to make the measurement of the energy, if we want to measure the energy very accurately, then delta E and delta T, the product of delta E and delta T, time, that satisfies the uncertainty principle. That means to measure the energy of a system very accurately, when there is no error in this, so that will take infinite time, okay, which is not possible. Therefore, due to this restriction, the minimum energy of a quantum mechanical particle cannot be zero due to uncertainty. And this is called, say, 0 point energy. 0 point energy. So therefore, the ground state wave function has the maximum possible wavelength because the energy is minimum, so the momentum is minimum and wavelength is maximum. Now our system is bound within the region 0 to L. We know the particle, for certain the particle is inside it. Now therefore if we find the probability, then the total probability of finding the particle within that one-dimensional box of length L should be equal to 1. And the unknown constant A can be determined from that normalization condition. So the constant unknown A is unknown constant. We could not determine it. Now we have to determine it from the normalization condition. Now it is a bound state problem. So the particle is confined in the box of length L. We know that it is confined in this region, within this length. Now the wave function, therefore, the total probability of finding the particle in region x equal to 0 to x is equal to L, that is given by this relation psi n mod square dx, that is equal to 1, and over the whole space, here dx is running from 0 to L because the particle is confined within that region. Now what is sine? A sine n pi by L x mod square dx is equal to 1. It is a real quantity. Now A is a constant. You can take it outside the integration. A square 0 to L, you get sine square n pi x by L dx is equal to 1. Now we have to calculate that value of that integral. So psi square theta, we use that sine square theta is equal to 1 minus two sine square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta. If we apply this here, so sine square theta is equal to half into this, so we get a square by 2, 0 to L, you get 1 minus cos 2n pi x by L dx is equal to 1. That you get a square by 2. It is x integration of cos theta minus sin theta, sine and 2n pi x by L, and here you get L by 2n pi, and that is equal to 1. Now substitute that limit when x is equal to L, you get here L x is equal to L sine twice n pi. That means sine 2 pi or 4 pi or 6 pi 0. And when x is equal to 0, both are 0. Therefore, we get a square by 2 only L. This term is 0 for upper limit and lower limit both are 0. So, you get it is equal to 1. So, the value of A, you get square root of 2 by L. Now, in terms of the length of the box, the normalization constant comes. Therefore, the wave function, normalized wave function, therefore, the normalized wave function is written as sin x is equal to square root of 2 by L sin n pi by L x. So, this is the normalized wave function and En is the eigenvalue. Now, for that only the Schrodinger equation which we have written for that system, time independent Schrodinger equation, that is satisfied only by the value E1, E2, E3, E4, not for all values. Unlike differential equation, for differential equation the En can take any value, but the Schrodinger equation in such equations it is called the eigenvalue equation. Okay. Now therefore for quantum mechanical system, the particle cannot take the energy in a continuous fashion. The energy level, so the momentum are also discontinuous. So we get the energy in quantum mechanics, everything is discrete. Energy, momentum, all observables are discrete. Position, it cannot take, suppose in the orbit, you cannot say the electron is here at a distance of say A from the nucleus. You cannot fix it. This is the most probable value. Then the second, what is the second position of the electron? It is here, that is certain value, say B. These are the expectation value, most probable value. So, and in between here the certain energy is there, suppose say E1, and here certain energy, higher energy level E2. The electron cannot take energy here. This is not the allowed energy level of the particle. So here also we see in case of particle in a box that it can take certain energies, only E1, E2, E3, all this, not all the values. So in quantum mechanics everything is discrete, nothing is continuous.